Friends, we are going to be getting our first class on Excel. Advanced Excel is quite broad. We don't have really much time. However, I know that we have some people who are not really IT gurus, or they have not had more interaction with Excel. So I want to start from the basics, so that by the time we get into our next session, we are all on the same page. If you know something, well and good. If you don't know, we are all here to learn. So in Excel, before we get straight into Excel, I need you to understand that in order for you to have your files well organized, in proper shape, as an organization, or even at an individual basis, when you open your PC or your computer, you need to open up a folder. So you simply right click, and then you will choose new. And you'll see options. Do you want a new folder? Do you want to make a shortcut, a Microsoft Access database? You want Word? You want Excel? You want Access? So there are quite many options. However, we want to create a folder so that our work can be well organized. In most cases, you find we have companies that deal with a lot of information or a lot of data. So if your work is not properly organized as a manager or as an intern or someone, even at an individual basis, you'll find that over time you will lose out on particular things, or the work may get lost when it's actually on the computer, but you just don't know where you placed it. So those are some of the importances of a folder. Yeah, so we shall select folder. So the reason why it's highlighted, it's because you are being informed to give it a name. So maybe we can call this training one, yeah. So you can name it according to what you desire to call it, yeah. So then you can open your folder. So when you open your folder, it is quite empty, yeah. It is empty, there is nothing. So you may find that within a folder, you will find other subfolders. So you may choose to create another folder within it. Maybe it would require you to do so. Yeah, you may have more content of the training and so on. It depends on what your desire really is. So then we shall let's get straight into our Excel, yeah? So let's drop that down. And then this is what we call the Windows key. Some people call it Start. I don't know what you call it personally, but this is a Windows key. So you tap your Windows key just once, and then you select Microsoft Excel. Some computers will, depending on which computer you have, or which version of Windows that you have, you may find that the display may be quite different, but that's not a major issue as long as you can find the Microsoft Excel. So you will choose Microsoft Excel. So let me maximize this. So this is the first screen that you will see. Yeah, you'll find that Excel will display the recent used Excel files. It will display them. So what do you want? You want to create a new workbook. A workbook is simply a collection of many or more than one spreadsheet. So we shall open a new workbook. So upon opening our new workbook, we shall find that we have what we call these are our columns. Sorry, these are our columns. Yeah. In case you don't know, these ones that are named after alphabetic letters are columns. Then the numbered ones are what we call the rows. So a combination of a row and a column is what we call a cell. Yeah. So for example, you can see that it has a name here. Yeah. This is what we call a name box right here. So it shows you C1. The C stands for the column and the 1 stands for which row. So we have different cells over here. They go over almost millions of cells. Yeah. So in Excel, like I said, we have just a single cell. That is a single cell. Now, when you double click and move this, a combination of different cells is what we call a range. Yeah, a range is simply a combination of different cells. You find that we have, so when you are maybe doing something, you usually point out this one A2 and the last one down, which is F11. Yeah, that is the range. So here we have, like I said earlier on, a workbook is simply a combination of more than one spreadsheet. So this is our sheet 1, yeah, like we can see here down, we have our sheet 1. However, you have options of adding more sheets. You have, you can see that the icon shows you that you choose to add a new sheet. So you may choose to add as many as you need to. So you can as well double tap to rename it. Maybe you want to call it maybe a profit sheet. Yeah, it depends on how you want your your workbook to be. So this, what we have is a workbook because we have more than one spreadsheet. Yeah. So in Excel, you'll find that you need to as well. Since we have people who are not really more interactive with Excel, I want to teach or let people know about the basics. So if you know something, don't mind, it's okay. If you don't, we are here to learn. So you'll find that we have what we call the this is called our layout. Yeah. Here where we see file, home, insert, page layout, formulas, data, review, view. This is what we call our layout. And these are tabs. Yeah, the insert. So those are different tabs that you can use when you're doing your work or when you're making your assignments at a student level, and when you're doing your work as a manager or as an employee. Yeah. So these tabs have when you click on them. Let me say I've tapped on the insert tab. I will see this as my display, and these we call them ribbons, and these ribbons are in groups. This group, each group is divided by a line. So this is a group, a tables group within the insert tab. Yeah. So we have this ribbon and we have the tables group, we have the illustrations, we have the add-ins, we have the charts group, we have the tours group, we have the sparklines group, we have the filters, we have the links. So I think we can literally, let me try to see, okay, when you look at this group, note that each and every group here has this icon. I think we can all see this icon. Yeah, this icon simply reflects that we have more options. So you can simply tap on this and see how many other options that you can get to create a chart. Okay, since our data is since our thing is still empty, let me first leave that. But this icon simply reflects that we have more options for you, but not that all groups here have it. I think you can see here tables doesn't have, illustrations nothing, we don't have even here, but it simply provides you with more options of what you're looking for, or of that particular group. Yeah. So then I have talked about this name box. Yeah, it simply shows you which cell and which column that particular, it shows you which column and row that your particular cell belongs to. Yeah, so when you click on that, you have clicked on a cell. When you double click, you have clicked in a cell. Yeah. So if you would love to, let me say, let's type in maybe a word, items. So if you would like maybe to copy this word, you would maybe uh, double click. You would maybe or if you would like to change or edit the items, maybe we have typed let me say items. Yeah, and we would love to change this to make it items. Yeah, you will not single tap, you will rather double tap, meaning you are editing or formatting whatever you have typed in that particular cell. So however, if you simply single tap, you're selecting the entire cell, you're not selecting just items within that particular cell. Yeah, so you can as well, if you would love to copy something in this in Excel, you can press Control C to copy, and you do Control V to paste. However, you can simply as well you can simply double tap and look at this icon. When we move our cursor, you see that we are moving. This icon that you see is called the selection cursor. You use it simply to select particular cells. Yeah. However, the moment you move it around and you see this, it means it has become an autofill cursor. So you can simply double tap and move, and you'll have items copied all throughout those particular different cells. So I think we can we can undo that. You can simply do Control Z to undo something. Yeah. So So now, at this moment, I think we have been able to get a small introduction about how we can use these particular tools. If you want to zoom in or zoom out, you can come right here. We have the addition. You want to zoom out, and the negative shows that you want to zoom in. Yeah, or you can simply move this along the line. Yeah. Then, in most cases, most users of Excel want to use what we call the normal view right here. This is the normal view. When you tap here, you have the normal view, and this is the screen that we have displayed. However, there is what we call the page layout. You can use this as well. Yeah, you can see the difference. Yeah, so we can have, some people use this, but whereas others use that. So to a beginner, someone who is new in Excel or someone who is just learning, I guess that is important as well. So let's get straight into our discussion this evening. Excel is a very broad topic, or very broad uh, concept that we cannot discuss in a day, obviously. So every time you want to adjust your columns, or you would love to adjust your rows, what you can do that is really quick, you can simply tap on your column until it brings this kind of cursor. So you tap, and then you can then double tap, yeah, double tap then, and move and select as many as you want to, yeah, and then you can now look for that, yeah, you move until you get this kind of cursor. So you double click, it will simply fit all the data that you have into that particular kind of column, especially if the column is so small for the content that you have, or if it's wide or big. You can find ways of minimizing, or of minimizing the column in that way. So let's try it out. Let's put some content here. Let's say we have the items, and then maybe we have, let me say, sugar. Let's put some few items. Then maybe we have peas, let me say salt, or coffee. Maybe this is a supermarket, and we are trying to use that kind of case study to find out, to learn more about Excel. So maybe this supermarket sells items like sugar, maybe it has peas, maybe it has salt, maybe it has coffee, maybe it has maize flour, maybe it has millet. All right, let me try to increase the font size so that people can be able to see. Then we can as well have what else? Maybe we can have umbrellas. Maybe we can have spaghetti. What else can be in a supermarket? Maybe drinking, maybe water bottles. Maybe we can have, let me say, tea leaves. Maybe we can have cards. And maybe we can as well have pens. So let me try to zoom in a little. So these are some of the items that you may buy or you may find in a supermarket. Yeah. So let's say this is a standard supermarket, and you are a retailer. The supermarket sells out to single buyers, not to manufacturers, not it doesn't sell out to people who are buying in bulk, but rather it sells to to individuals at an individual basis. Yeah, it's a more retailer setting. Yeah. So you as an organization, or as a supermarket, you need to go out and buy those products and then resell them at a particular cost, and that cost is what you buy at a particular cost, which we call our cost price. Then you sell out at a selling price. Yeah. So let's assume these items, let's give them a cost price. So standard supermarket is going to buy this product. Some people call it capital. I guess let me do this so that we can be able to get a better view. 36 maybe. So let's assume maybe sugar is at maybe 10,000. Maybe that's our buying price is now the cost price. Yeah, I hope we are clear on that. The cost price is how much are we buying? Yeah, I think most people in Uganda call it osubula mmeka. Yeah. So how much are we buying? So maybe this supermarket has the cost price of 10,000. Maybe this is at 8,000. maybe we have 4,000, maybe we have 6, maybe we have flour at 3.5, maybe millet can be at around 6,000 a kilogram, maybe we can have umbrellas at 8,000, spaghetti can be like 12, is that 12? Okay. Water bottles, around 6, but water bottles can be expensive sometimes. Let's say 15,000. Okay, just for the sake of studying, let's make it 7,000. Then maybe our tea leaves can take us 5,000. Then maybe the cards can be 500. Those very small success cards. Then maybe the pens can be 1,000. I've seen Nataraj being at that price sometimes. So that is our cost price. However, you may find that in order for when you as an organization go out to buy products for your company to resell, you'll find that you'll incur particular you may get a tax charge. Yeah, I think we remember this from the time when the businessmen and women in town were rioting over it because of the taxes. Obviously, you will each and every product that is in Uganda, I guess, has a tax on it. So what we incur at this level is value-added tax. As an organization or as a company, we may incur that cost, but however, remember the buyer shifts that price, that tax to the manufacturer or the retailer shifts that burden, the price, the tax burden to the final consumer of the product. So we have to add our tax to our cost price so that we can be able to get what our final price may be, our selling price. At what cost shall we be selling? So let's maybe assume this is our value added tax. I think, let me just say VAT. Maybe it's at 18% of our, okay, let's say 12% of our cost price. Yeah. So let me first increase the size once again to 36. So then let's have, maybe it's at 18%. Yeah. So what do? You remember in Excel, we have formulas and we have functions. So at this moment, we are going to be using what we call formulas, yeah, not functions, yeah. In the meantime, we are going to learn how functions work and how formulas work and what is the difference, yeah. So for us to use our function, our formula, we shall say maybe equals, let me say it's 12, I think we say 12%. So you will do 12% of our cost price. Our cost price is in the section B2. Yeah, so let's choose that, B2. Then when you press enter, it will give you a value. Now this is the value added tax that you are going to incur when you are buying or when you go out to purchase products for the standard supermarket. Yeah, so you'll find that this is how much you will be charged or extra cost that you're going to incur as a purchaser or as a buyer when you are buying sugar. Yeah, so we are going to simply get to our autofilling. We are going to autofill our entire column. So like I said, when you move this cursor around this cell, you'll finally get the autofill movement. So you simply double click and move downwards up to the last cell. Yeah, and figures will simply fit in, because it is going to simply, this formula reflects that we have it is going to command Excel to simply take on only one figure, only one column to the right, to the left, and simply fit in the 12%. And that is how we are going to, that's how you come up with these figures. Then, now after you have gotten your value added tax, you have your cost price, you have your value added tax. Now, you will want to make a profit. As an organization or even as a business owner, you will need to make a profit, obviously, to stay in business. So in order for you to make a profit, you will need to as well calculate it. Yeah. So let's put the profit bar, the profit column, and now let's maybe assume our profit, how much you at an individual, you can find water in a particular area and it is costing 1,000. You go somewhere else, it's costing 2,000. You go somewhere else, you find it at 3,000. When you go to cask, you'll find it at 4,000 or 3,000. Every business has its own pricing. Yeah, and it's because they add a particular quantity or amount of profit that they need. So when they sum up their cost price, their taxes, and also their profits, that's when they come up with their final selling price. Yeah. So what profit would we want to get? Yeah. So you may find that you may want to, excuse me, you may find that you will want your profit to simply maybe be, maybe you need a 16% from this, from your cost price. Yeah, maybe you want to add 16%. So we shall say that our cost price may be, okay, let me just say 3/4, but 3/4 is a lot. Let me say 3/4, 3/4. My numbers are still low. Let me increase the size. Okay, I think I'm seeing someone requesting to, please, madam, can you repeat how you calculated VAT? Value added tax. Friends, let's look here. Okay, before I get to someone who has asked about someone requesting me to repeat on how we calculated VAT, someone is asking, where do you get the multiplication sign? Figure 8 on your keyboard is usually having the star, depending on the kind of PC that you have. So you simply press Shift and then you press that number that has the star on it, and it will surely be in Excel. Our slash, the slash on your keyboard is usually the division sign. The star is usually your multiplication sign. Your then when you get to the equals sign and the plus, they are all on the same button. So you can choose to either when you press Shift and you press that button, you get the plus. When you simply tap, you get the equals. Then the minus or the subtraction sign, you simply press the dash. We have two dashes, the long one and the short one. So we use the short one. You don't press Shift. So when you press Shift, you're getting the long dash, which may be even lower. Yeah. So let's continue. Someone asked about value-added tax. So how did we come up with this? Remember, every government or organization faces particular taxes. It depends. You may be incurring only value added tax, but someone else may be incurring transportation costs that are in terms of taxes, especially if you're importing from outside. Yeah. So how did we do it? We assumed a number that let's say they charge us 12% of our cost price. Yeah, that is the tax. The percentage of the tax is usually provided. You as an organization, you don't set it out for yourself. Yeah, you find that it is the government that laid out, or it depends. Yeah, so you may find that the government, we have assumed that the government taxed standard supermarket maybe 12%. So we went to 12% of our cost price, and that's when we got, this is our formula bar, so you can look here just in case. This is our formula bar. So you can see that you can assume another number. Yeah, you can assume maybe government is taxing 20%, and you'll get the value added tax. Yeah. So let's get back to our profit. So we are saying that let's assume our profit, we need to get 3/4 of our cost price in order for us to make a profit. Yeah. So what is our profit? So we shall say 3/4 of 3/4 of, just a moment. These are machines. So in Excel, let's embark more on using the equals sign. The equals sign shows that you are putting in a formula and not just a number. Yeah, even when we are using functions, we shall be using the equal sign. So maybe we want to make a profit of 3/4 of our cost price. Yeah, so we shall say 3/4 of our cost price, and our cost price is B2. So we shall choose and then we press enter. These are machines. So I'm trying to maximize okay, that is better because someone was saying they can't see properly or clearly. So after we have put in our formula, what do? We simply move our cursor to get the autofill movement, and then we shall double click and move it downwards, and we shall have all cells responded to. Yeah, that is the easiest way that we can handle that. Then now when we know our cost price, at what price we have bought something. Now we are charged a tax, and that tax, who incurs it? You, the business, at that moment. Then you need to also make a profit. Yeah, let's say now let's go to sugar. You are a businessman or a businesswoman or an organization, and you have come to this cost price. And then you get your tax and then the profit. Now what you want to get is how much should I sell without incurring, without making losses. So what do we want to find? We want to know our selling price. Yeah. So we want to find out what our selling price can be. So now how do we find our selling price? At this moment, I've said we are going to be using formulas, not functions. Yeah. So we are going to be we always start off with an equal sign. Yeah. So we are going to look for how we can add up cost price, which is B2. So you simply press your equals B2, then plus, I think we learned how to press the plus. Then we choose the value added tax. Then we press plus, and then we add our profit. Yeah, then we press enter. So we can see how much our selling price has to be. In order for us to move that tax to the next buyer or the consumer, we need to sell at this price. In order for us to make a profit of 7,500, we need to sell at that price. Yeah. So we are going to simply drop down as we have learned already. So we are going to drop down to all sales, and that is the selling price per item. So if you want to make a profit from your cards, you need to sell them at 935 shillings. If you want to make a profit from your pens, you need to sell at 1,870. If you want to make some money from your umbrellas, you need to sell them at 14,960. Yeah, so that's why you find some companies are selling their water at 3,000, others are selling at at 2,000, some others are even selling at 1,000. You may find somewhere down there in a retail shop, in maybe Mama Naka's retail shop, very small shop, the water is at 500 because she may not even be incurring taxes at some point. She might be dodging somewhere, somehow. Yeah. So now we have seen our prices, we've looked at the profit and all that. Now, let's try to find out the totals, because we need to understand how much can we, what is the total cost, what is the total profit gotten, what is the total sale that we can make. So we shall simply type here totals, shall get a field, a cell for totals. And how do you get totals? Now, this is when we get into functions. A function, some of the functions that we have, the first one we are going to look at is going to be sum. Sum simply stands for summation. We could have used them as well, but since we have people who are still learning how to use Excel, we've not used them here. But rather, you can as well use sum or functions right here. So the first function that we are going to learn is going to be sum, because we are finding totals. Yeah, so you can say equals sum. When you type in sum, they are going to bring you different functions that start with sum, and you'll see sum ifs, and this shows that this is used when you're adding cells specified by a given set of conditions or criteria. Or you can use this one, and we can see that this one adds all the numbers in a range of cells, and this is what we want. Yeah, so we shall double click on that, and now it will demand you for numbers. Yeah, so you can simply go to the first cell, you have chosen it. Yeah, this is our formula bar. Yeah, so you have chosen the first bar. Now, what signifies or shows that this is a range? It is a semicolon. Sorry, a colon. Yeah. So what is a colon? You simply press shift and that colon bar. Yeah. So when you press it, it will show you that you're making a sum of that very number. Otherwise, it is demanding you to select the second number or the other number or the other cell that shows that that commands Excel to sum up that particular range. Yeah, so you can simply drop down and press enter, and you'll have the total. Yeah, you'll have the total already displayed. Yeah, so our total for the cost price is this. This is the money that you need to have at hand so that you can go to that manufacturer's store and pick those items. Yeah. Now we are going to still drop down. However, this time we are moving to the right. We are not going to be moving downwards because we are now dealing with totals of VAT. We are dealing with totals of our profit and totals of the selling price. Yeah, so we are moving this way, not downwards, because there is nothing we are doing this side. Yeah, so we shall autofill, double tap and move the cursor. So when you see hashes, it means the columns are small. So you simply select the column and expand it so that the numbers can fit. Yeah. I think I made it too big. Okay, let's do that. Yeah. So we have found our totals using a function, not a formula, rather. So our next, we have looked at the sum as a function. Now let's look at other functions. What if we need to maybe identify or find out what is the lowest selling price? Yeah. So maybe our lowest selling price. Yeah. So let's find out how the lowest selling price. Now, this is another, I'm leading you to another function. And what is this function? This function is the minimum function. Yeah. Like I said, in Excel, we use more equals. Every time you use the equal sign, it shows a function or a formula. So we shall do our equals. Now, this is the minimum function. We simply use min. Yeah. You will receive many other functions, and this one shows you we have mina. This one returns the smallest value in a set of values, does not ignore logical values and text. Then we have the min that we need, returns the smallest value in a set of values, ignores values and text. So remember, us, we are not concerned about text, but rather we are dealing with figures or numbers. Yeah. So we shall select our min. So we shall select min, double tap, and then you come back and select. Yeah, we are not going to include the totals row because it is not part of the selling price, but rather just a total of the selling price. So we shall select our selling price. We need to select the entire need to select the entire column apart from the one covering totals. Yeah, so you see it has put in for you E2 to E13. So you press enter and it has brought you the lowest selling price, which is for cards. Then how about the highest? Now when you want to know the highest selling price, you will now need to get to the function of maximum. Yeah, let me increase the size. We look now at the function of maximum. So how do you use it? You simply type in equals and then you choose max. You type in max. They will show you different functions, but we are interested in max. So you double tap. Yeah, you simply double tap and it now will demand you for the numbers. So we get back to our selling price and we start from above till the last one, till the last selling price. So we still ignore the totals. So enter. Then we have our highest selling price. Yeah. Now, sometimes you may need to know the average of these, of the selling price. What is the average? The range, in other words, the average prices. So we shall now look for the average. Yeah. So I need to increase the size once again. So then average. Now average, we simply use a function of equals average. Yeah, so you double tap, you simply double tap and it will still demand for numbers, and you will simply come back and select your column, we shall select items. We shall select from the first one to the last one. Yeah, we still ignore our totals and we simply press enter. And we shall have the average calculated out. Yeah. So sometimes we would want to also identify, someone is asking me to repeat about selling price, how we got the selling price, or how we are doing the lowest selling price, the highest selling price. Maybe how we got to the point of selling price. I said, as a business, you need to know how much. Okay, when someone comes out and sells their water at their business at 3,000, it means they have added up a number of things. Maybe the place or location is expensive and they are putting it part of the costs. Maybe they need their profit is they want to make more profit from their sales. So you find that you will need to find a total of all expenses, including the price at which you bought something. Let's assume, like I said, a bottle of water. Someone will go to Century Bottling Company and will buy water at maybe 800 Uganda shillings. And then because of the tax incurred when you're buying something, you may find yourself now paying 900 Uganda shillings. Then you also want to make a profit of 500. You find yourself selling at around 1,400. Yeah, so you sell at 1,400 because you've added the cost price, which that is the price at which you bought that item. Then the value added tax is the tax that you incur, that you are charged. Yeah. Lately in Uganda, I think most all businesses are and they pay tax, a particular tax, and this percentage is set out by the government, I guess. Then you also want to make a profit, so you simply add up. And since we had not yet since we are using formulas, we were simply using the plus, we were simply using the addition sign. Yeah. So I hope we are clear on that. Yeah. So I think, just a moment. Then someone is saying, please share your screen so that we can follow very well. Okay, I think my screen is off. The screen is on, maybe firstly. Okay, I think that was a network issue. All right, let's proceed. So we have looked at the average. Now, let me show you something. We can see that our items are numbered according to the number of cells. Yeah, items. If you are writing, maybe you would want this to be your first item, item 1, item 2, item 3, 4, but rather Excel identifies them according to rows and columns. So you may not have the number for your items, and sometimes you may find that the company is broad or has quite many items, and you would want to know your number without counting manually, because it might take you time. Counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it may take you some time. So what do? We simply come here and put in number of items. Yeah, this one will help you show how many items that you have without having to count them manually, because it may be burdensome. Yeah, so which function do we use? We use the counter function. So why do we use counter, not count? Let me show you something. When you say counter, it shows you that this counts the number of cells in a range that are not empty. So you find that it is going to count text and numbers, yeah, in a field that is not empty. Yeah, so you find that it will count these numbers without really minding whether they are numbers or figures or words or it's text. Unlike count counts the number of cells in a range that contains numbers only. So if we are to use count in this field, yeah, for items, it is not going to give us the answer. It will instead give us 0 because that function reads only numbers. Yeah, so we are going, let's try it out. Let's try to use count. Yeah, so let's count. Let's go back up. So we are going to select this. Oh, just a moment. I didn't select the function. Okay, let's do it from here, from the formula bar. Oh. All right. You first double tap to select it, or otherwise you can put the bracket by yourself. Yeah. So we need to now, we are using count to see that it doesn't work. So we are now going to put in our first item, and then we shall get straight to our last item. So we don't add totals, remember. So that is our last item, and then we press enter. It's going to show you 0. Why? It reads only numbers. But rather, if you use that same formula here in numbers, it's going to give you the answer. Yeah, let's try it. So let's use count on maybe selling price. Okay, let's use it on profit. Let's use it on profit and see if it works. Remember, it reads only numbers, so that is it. Then we press enter. It has given us 12 items. Why? It only reads numbers. Then let's now redo our formula, since we are counting items in particular. So we shall say equals counter. I think now we've picked the difference between counter and count. So we use counter, and then that is our first cell up to the last cell. We don't include totals. Then enter. And we have our answer. Yeah. So this usually works if you have too many items, but rather you can count them manually if you want to, but Excel is here to simplify life. Now, this number, the number of items, has literally no difference with these other numbers. So how do we distinguish between a number and money? Because in this moment, when we look at the value added tax, the cost price, the profit, and the selling price, we are talking about money. But when we look at number of items, we are talking about a number. So how do we distinguish that? We need now to add maybe a dollar sign, or we need to add a dollar sign, or we literally need to add currency, yeah, to show the distinction. Excuse me. We need to add currency in order to distinguish between money or prices and numbers. So you simply select everything that you would want to have the currency, and we go up to averages. Yeah. So we shall simply right click and look for format cells. But rather, you can as well find it right here above. You can find it here, but you can find it here. We have a drop down, like I said. This icon provides you with more options. Yeah. So we have to select. We select all our. So we have you literally select out all the field that we have interest in, so that we do not miss out on anything. So machines, oh my god, just a moment. Right, let's highlight and add. All right, we are now going to format or add. You can use this icon, or you can simply right click. Yeah, so here we have the number, we have alignment, we have font, we have the bordering, we have fill, we have protection, we have a number of things here. But what are we interested in? We want to add currency. Yeah, so here we can see dollar signs. Now, before I get to that, remember, have you gone to a supermarket and you buy something, and on your receipt as you're going out, you find that there are 2 extra zeros with a dot between? Yeah, they literally, like, let's look here on the sample. It shows that there is 10,000 with 2 extra decimal places. These 2 extra zeros don't show that you have 1 million. They rather show some in most cases supermarkets and banks use this. Yeah, sometimes it's to be unique, sometimes it's to maybe stand out, maybe it depends on the intention. Yeah, so that is set from right here. So the decimal places, you can choose to make it 1. You can see now that 1 0 has gone off, or you may choose to have none and have the actual figure 10,000, or you may choose to have 2. Yeah, or 3. So it depends. Now let's put it into Ugandan shillings, since standard supermarket is in Uganda maybe. So you can double click and type Uganda, tap, and then type Uganda shillings. Yeah, and now we press OK. Yeah, so we see we have 2 decimal places. Yeah, and we have Uganda shillings. Our prices have changed to Uganda shillings. So now someone can tell the difference between I think this column is now small. The column is so small. Yeah, so you can literally see the difference between money and, however, remember, even our lowest selling price and highest selling price, as well as the average, they were part of the selling price. So we also have to change them into, we have to format them to make them currency. Yeah, so we make it currency. Then you type here Uganda shillings. We type Uganda shillings, and we are done. And we have, now we can see the distinction between money and numbers. So now you may want to show that this is this work or this particular assignment is within, maybe you would want to add borders, maybe for particular purposes. Yeah, so what do you do? How do we do the bordering? Simply highlight all the work. Simply highlight all the work. You can simply press Control A, and then you come to this icon still. Yeah, come to this icon, and now we have number, alignment, font, and border. So you choose border. You may want to outline all the work, or you may want to just divide the work in half, or you may want to strike it through in terms of columns. So let's do the outlining of all our work. So then you can choose a style of bordering. Maybe we want it thick, and maybe you want to give it color as well. You may choose red. Yeah, oh, that doesn't look good. Okay, let's make the red dark, maybe that, and then we can now press OK, and we can now see some changes. Okay, the color has not yet come. Okay, let's try again and see. Border, then you can choose a color. We don't want it to be automatic. We want to choose for ourselves, and then we want to choose OK. Let's see, the color has not yet come as well. Okay, let's get to the next item. So you may be a business owner that wants to maybe inform your buyers that, you know what, our prices maybe have gone down a bit, or they have gone high, or we are changing prices next season, and you would want maybe to inform them through maybe you would want to inform them through use of a chart or a pie chart, or you would want to issue out a bar graph, or you would want to simply send out a communication through a report to your customers about what you want. Yeah. So what do we do? Okay. I'm putting the borders again. All right. That is. All right. So what we are going to do now is, let me say the price has maybe decreased. Yeah, maybe because the value added tax has been reduced by government to some extent, or maybe the profit you're now looking at, just taking out the price, the goods, your products, so that people can take them on a cheaper cost, and now you want to decrease. Yeah, so you may, we shall now, let me move so that we can get more columns. So what do you do? Now remember, the former price, selling price is going to change because of particular changes. Maybe our selling price has now increased by, let me say our selling price has increased by maybe a quarter. Maybe it has decreased by a quarter. So what do? We shall now have a new selling price because we are no longer trading at the former price. Our price has literally reduced. So our new price, what will it be? We shall say that our price has decreased. What is the decrease? The decrease is a quarter of the former price. So we shall say a quarter equals, let's first hold on to use the formula. Let's say, let's put a bracket and we say a quarter, yeah, a quarter, yeah, of our selling price. Yeah, our selling price is this. Okay. Okay, let me add an equal sign so that we can make it more of a formula. Otherwise, I may not get the. So you say a quarter of the selling price is what is going to decrease from our selling price. So a quarter of the selling price, then we add a bracket. Now, where are we reducing that? Where is that decrease? It is on the selling price. So we shall say equals our selling price minus the decrease. Yeah. So what do? We press enter. Now this is our new selling price. We've had a quarter off our former selling price, and now our new selling price is that. So you simply still drop down without totals, remember. So we have looked at the basic introduction of Excel, how you can create, what are columns, how do you use them, how do you do borders, how do you calculate a selling price in case of a change, in case. We have literally looked at almost everything that requires an introduction to Excel for those who have not interacted more with Excel. This has been an overview or a short outlay or introduction. So with that said, thank you so much, Take Lift Academy, for this opportunity, and back to you, our host.